Hey, turn that off. So, how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing? I figured we could talk just very real for a moment or longer than a moment and just talk about some things in a very real and very raw way. I haven't been able to really eat quite right. I don't know what's going on with me. I don't know if it's like the energy of something or I don't know. It's either I'm super hungry or I just can't eat. And then today started with in the middle of me eating, after a couple bites, I get really nauseous. And no, I'm not pregnant. And no, I don't have a tapeworm. I'm definitely going to be fixing my face as we talk. But I don't know. It's just, I feel like maybe if we talk about some stuff, um, maybe people will not necessarily understand me, but maybe by me talking, you can better understand yourself, like better understand whatever it is that you might be experiencing because of energy fluctuations. So basically, um, now I have like butterflies. What is this? I hope it's not. I don't know. So as an energy worker, I've been doing this publicly for a couple years now. I've been doing it secretly for my whole life. So this is really all I know. This is all I know. But because I've only been doing it publicly for a couple years, it's definitely still a huge transition for me. Huge, because the fact of the matter is, the person that I am in real life, the real me, which is what you see on, I don't know. I have all these different sides of me. And the prominent side, or what was prominent, is a very introverted me. I'm in real life, I'm actually quite introverted. You guys don't mind the pink shit all over my hands. I was making all kind of shit earlier, just like amazing protective witchy shit. So yeah, I'm usually very reserved around people. Even what is this? Even like my relatives and stuff, I don't really talk at family parties. I'm just like I keep to myself. And so doing energy work publicly, that is, because I never had this problem doing it, secretly. It's just a very weird transitionary period. You pair that along with my elevated empathy, and that's like a recipe. That is totally a recipe for some really poorly defined personal boundaries and all kind of other things. It creates a lot of struggle for the individual, like a lot. And once people begin having a need, once you begin feeling people's need for something, whatever it is that you're feeling the need for as an energy worker, it's very easy for people to get very enamored by your energy. I guess enamored is a very genteel way of saying addicted. and it's not a complaint. This is just um, a recognition for things being what they are, which is not bad. It's not a bad thing, but it's definitely a part of your personal journey. You can't be an energy worker and ignore your journey. So for me personally, what this has come down to is, and I don't know if it's just because of, I don't know if it's just because of the lunar stuff going on or whatever it is, but we get so overwhelmed. It's just really overwhelming. The energies, the feelings, all of this stuff. It's just super overwhelming. And the more sensitive you are, the more overwhelming it will be. And here's the thing. Um, here's the thing. The better you are at your job, which is energy work, that requires higher levels of sensitivity. In order to access higher levels of your ability, you have to shed layers and allow yourself to become much more sensitive. So it's a very common misconception that people think, oh, well, she's been doing this for a while now. This is all she really knows. So should be no big deal. It is a big deal. It is a big deal. Like I said, it's very easy for people who are this sensitive to get very quickly overwhelmed, not necessarily by clients, not necessarily by what goes on online, more because of their sensitivities to their environment. When you go to the grocery store, when you run errands, at home, the way your friends feel, the way your relatives feel. And oftentimes what ends up happening for those who have the I just lost my train of thought. And that's another thing. I think at this point, this little quirk that I'm about to talk about is probably a saving grace. I used to have a photographic memory, like a phenomenal memory, never forget a face, never forget a name. I mean, I don't really talk to people, but I remember everything. Well, I used to. And at this point, what's happened is the more I tap into my abilities, the more pronounced my abilities and my work become. What ends up happening is less of my brain apparently is available for like day-to-day functions. So, I mean, I'm still functional, but half the time I don't know if I've eaten. Like my short-term memory is just blown. People will ask me details about their their reading, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember. If you said I said that, I guess I said that. I don't know. And that's why I don't lie, because I'm not going to remember it. Whatever I'm going to try and lie about, I'm just not going to remember it. So I'm not even going to waste my time trying to look a certain way. I'm just going to be me. You like it, you don't, whatever. Whatever. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, I like in the middle of me talking, like you guys just saw that. What was I gonna say? So that's kind of what happens. Interesting. One of the things that becomes very apparent as I prepare to go through another intense cycle of ascension, because that's what I'm going through right now. Another intense cycle of ascension. I'm becoming very, very sensitive to certain topics. Um, and it's like, you don't have to even intend to hurt me. I'm just kind of easily hurt right now. I'm very sensitive right now. And I recognize that. I do recognize that. I see it for what it is, a sensitivity. Like I said, the higher levels of abilities, the higher the level of your gift that you're accessing, the higher the level of your sensitivity that's required. And so what ends up happening is you'll go through things and people, I don't know, I can't really speak for anyone else, but I know that for me personally, I'll go through things and then I won't say anything because I don't know. I won't say anything to other people typically because I just don't know how to cope and process if I'm talking about it. Does that make sense? I get real quiet. I get real distant. And it's just kind of how it is. um, the things that I deal with, not to diminish anyone else, but the things that I deal with tend to be amplified more than the average person because because what ends up happening is not only do I have to try and process my stuff, I'm now also um, there's a need that's been created. There's a dependency, some level of dependency that's been created, and you have to continue with that while you're still addressing your needs. And it's like, oftentimes people don't realize that any energy worker or not, people go through things. They go through things, and you can't always expect other people to be willing or able to cater to what you want. That's just bottom line. Um, Granted, as an energy worker, it's a different type of thing if someone is paying you. If someone is booking a session, yes, you have to deliver. That's your job. You have to deliver. You're being compensated for that. But then there's this whole other aspect with the way energy work, that industry, because it's an industry, the way that industry is, uh, oh, the way that industry is, it's just weird. It's just weird. It's weird in that, well, actually, maybe it's just me. I'm wondering if maybe it's just me. I'm thinking maybe it is just me because I tend to be really, really bad at, well, no, a lot of the energy workers are like that. I tend to be really, really bad at setting and enforcing boundaries, personal boundaries. Um, and then another thing, as an energy worker, what tends to happen is, um, as I live stream, and again, this is not a complaint, this is just something to be aware of. You know, if energy work and the type of thing that you guys see me do is something that interests you, you should be aware of this. So, you know, the person that I am, um, with Cancer all up in my chart, I have a tendency to be like very catering and very considerate of other people's feelings and needs. Pair that with Pisces, and it's just like, thank God for Capricorn. Because if it wasn't for Capricorn, I would have zero boundaries, which, I mean, I have one boundary. Just don't be disrespectful. That'll get you a quick out. I've learned doing this publicly for a short bit, I've learned that's the one boundary. You will never win that shit with me. You will never, ever, ever win that shit with me. You be disrespectful, you're out. You can find someone else to help you. There's plenty of people there out in this world who can help you with whatever it is you believe you need help with. I will not tolerate disrespect towards me, and especially towards my assistant Rachel or my husband. You lost your cock ass mind if you think that's okay. You really have if you think that's okay. So with being an energy worker, part of the struggle is trying to keep everything balanced. Knowing other people's needs versus other people's preferences, demands, unreasonable expectations, things like that. And it's almost like this crazy type of, I don't know how I would put it. So the way I am, I'm just kind of at a point in my life where I can't fake who I am. I'm just going to be who I am. And part of who I am is someone who likes. Did you guys see the lights flash? Part of who I am is someone who likes to make sure other people feel welcome, other people feel understood, feel accepted. That's just kind of who I am. Now, I like to do that for anybody. And so what ends up happening is I treat pretty much everyone on the live stream as though you're coming over to my place and we're just hanging out. And I don't know, there's kind of like a misunderstanding there. And so what ends up happening, sometimes as an energy worker, people will see you not as who you are, but as who they want or need you to be. And that's okay as long as you're able to and know how and are willing to enforce boundaries. When it comes to someone like me, I don't have any. I don't even know if I learned. I don't even know if I learned about boundaries as a child. My mom doesn't have boundaries. My siblings don't really have boundaries. So I guess I never really learned about boundaries. And that's something I'm definitely working on. And so what ends up happening is I need a buffer zone, because if I see you're in need, everything is a yes. Yes, sure. But Emmie, you're already booked for the whole day. It's okay. We'll figure out a way to squeeze them in. And so it's this thing where you have to be really honest with yourself. You have to really, really be honest with how much you can actually do, with recognizing that your expectation of yourself oftentimes is unfair. Oftentimes it is so unfair. It's almost like artists, like the struggling artist, that stereotype of, I'm a struggling artist, starving artist. You don't really value your work and your time. Oftentimes, from what I hear from my friends who are artists, when they began, they were willing to take anything at all, any type of compensation. There was no consideration as to how much you spent for your materials, how much your time is worth, the quality of your work, and the uniqueness of your art, the type of feelings that your art conveys, like, just valuing it. And so what ends up happening is you sell yourself short. And I say this on live streams, but it's definitely something I'm still learning for myself, where, you have to recognize you are not bargain basement. And there will always be people who will see what you do, who sees what you offer, and they will covet it. They will want it. They'll covet it, but they won't be willing to pay the appropriate price for it. And so they'll shame you, because really what they want is the novelty of what you do. They don't actually grasp the gravity of what your work is. As an energy worker, if we're going to be honest, energy workers are a dime a dozen. They are. They are. This is a very oversaturated industry, and everyone is learning the same things. Um, they're learning the same techniques, which doesn't really affect much. I know this might sound like I'm full of ego, but this is the truth. Everyone's doing Reiki, and Reiki really accesses only harmonic universe one. That's dimensions one, two, and three, the very basics, surface level. And my system starting point is 12th dimensional frequency and higher. So this is going to affect core level. And if I didn't understand the value of what I'm doing, I would allow people to convince me that I'm selfish, I'm greedy, I'm money hungry, and it's not really worth that much. Well, if you don't agree, energy workers are a dime a dozen. Go on Facebook. Tons of energy workers doing live streams, doing it for free. I don't know what's going to happen to you because a lot of that, I'm someone who began on Facebook. I started live streaming on Facebook. And with that, there's a reason I don't really live stream energy work on Facebook at this point. That's just all drama. It's a nice place to have interaction. If you're looking for interaction with like-minded people, that's good. That's a good place to go. If you're looking to really grow your craft, really know how to maintain a level of integrity and morality that's necessary to be able to perform this work in the proper way, yeah, you're not going to find that on Facebook. You're not going to learn that in a weekend workshop teaching you Reiki online or even in person. That's really not something you're going to learn. So the point is, if I didn't understand the value of my work, how could I ever help you to understand the value of it? So as energy workers, a huge part of your job, if you want to have a long-term energy-based business, you're going to have to learn some of that self-love, self-worth. You're going to have to, or else it's just going to eat you up. This industry is going to eat you up. It's going to make you question your worth even more. Because coming from a person who was devoutly religious for most of my life, I found that spiritual circles are just as catty, and because it's a rough and raw talk, just as catty and two-faced as religious circles. It's true. It's true. Go on Facebook. Here's a challenge. The Emmie challenge. Go on Facebook. Go to a spiritual group. Ask them, hey, you heard of Emmie? Let's see what they say. Let's see what they say. I don't know. It's going to be a mixed bag. It's going to be a mixed bag. So what ends up happening, part of the risk of being an energy worker is the parasitic aspect of it. It's 11:11, 52:25, 11:11. Love it. Mirrors. So part of the risk, actually the most major risk with doing anything in this industry, even reading cards and things like that, not to scare you, but you just have to be aware of the risk. Part of that, majority of that, is parasitic. So a lot of the things that parasitic attempts will include are the desire to become very famous and well-known and the most powerful, the most revered. Everybody knows you and likes you, and not everybody got to know you. Not everyone's going to like you, okay? That's just a fact. Not everyone's going to like you. And the more honest, authentic and truly skilled you are, the more you will be hated, the more you will find resistance. The more effective your work is, the more empowering it is for other people, the more you will be hated. Okay. And I honestly, I'm not too sure why. I think maybe part of it has to do with the fact that if you're honest, then you definitely will, without intending to, take business away from people who are just a one-trick pony. They're just there for the show. They like to use the terms, have the you know, be done up, have the appropriate spiritual gear and all this and all that, and have the little I don't fucking know. I don't know. All I know is I'm Emmie. I do this work. You don't like it, watch someone else. But if I was really, really focused on growing an audience, if I was really, really focused on getting really big and having this, the world isn't quite ready yet for authenticity. It's needed right now. It's absolutely needed. But if you want to be mainstream, if you want to make that quick buck and real quick and, grow, I mean, if I played by the rules, if I played by the rules, I know how I could grow this channel. I know easily within, I don't know, however many months, a year, I could have at least 100,000 subs, 500,000 subs. That would be very easy for me to do. As an empath, I know what to say, how to say it to get you to love me. You know what I mean? People who are part of the mainstream, the Gen Pop, general population, we're doing penitentiary talk. Gen Pop, people who are part of the general public, they're not ready for this level of truth. They need everything sugar-coated. They need a very polished type of brand. And there's a reason why I allow myself to be very goofy, to be very just obnoxious, to have no makeup, to have my hair all greasy. I'm wearing pajamas. Notice how none of that really matters, because what I'm here to do is not be famous. And if you're doing energy work, if that's part of your intent to somehow become famous, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your goal, that's your goal. I'm not trying to dissuade you from your goal. What I'm saying is that is an ego trap and a huge gaping wall, like wall worth of opening into your field by parasites. It's very hard to breach. And it's not impossible. I can still be breached. I know that for a fact. It's very hard to breach me because I'm not interested in trying to prove anything. I'm not interested in trying to be on top. I'm not interested in any of that, any ego-based imbalance. Does that mean I'm always balanced? No. I have other things that I need to balance. I have other things. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay for you to be a real person. What's not okay is if you allow yourself to be convinced of all the ugly things people can and will most likely say about you as you do energy work. Okay? And this is just something that I've witnessed. I've witnessed this time and time again. I'm not going live this weekend. As part of this process that I'm going through, I'm in the middle of another ascension cycle, a big one, and it just makes me very quickly overloaded, and I just say I can't, I can't, and I have to be okay with that. Part of The problem is not that other people aren't okay with that. Part of the problem is I'm not okay with that. Part of the problem is I hold myself to such an unfair, unrealistic standard. Like I do this to myself. It's not anything you guys are doing. I do this. And that's part of what you need to learn to balance if you're really going to do energy work, if you're really wanting to get into a spiritual um, business. That's something that you have to really take into account. You know, having those very solid, very clear boundaries for yourself, not just boundaries for if other people try and take advantage of you or, you know, whatever else. No, you need boundaries for yourself so that you can have some sort of self care. The reason why I go live at night while I do, I can't believe I forgot about this. So disappointed in you, Emmie. I'm so disappointed in you. Oh, ooh, it's so cold. It's so cold. I got it in rose quartz so I could give my face some love. That's right, bitch. I love you, girl. All right, all right. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, I should. People piss me off. I just iron that out. Iron out the. Iron out that freaking walnut of a forehead. I don't know how you're supposed to use this. I just bought it. Just I don't know. I was like, oh, rose quartz. I'm okay. Fucking Ulta. I was in line and it was right there, and I said, oh, can we just add that on? Ooh, facial stuff. We'll add that on too. Yo, I went there for lotion. $300 later, I got this that I've used maybe, I don't know. I think this is my second time. I got this last year too. Let's just, I don't know. Maybe I can iron out my attitude. So, yeah, it's just there's a lot of things you have to take into consideration when you begin this job. A lot of people think that it's so cool. So cool. And it's like you can work from home and you can make a ton of money. You're going to be rich. I give away most of whatever I make. Far from rich. Part of the problem with my fucking empathy. I give all sorts of shit away. Well, hello, mister, sitting outside of Walmart. Were you hungry? Let me feed you and get you a gift card so you can feed yourself after I'm gone. I have a need to mother the world. That's part of what. Oh, did you see that? That's what happened. Maybe we can iron out the buccal fat. Just push it behind. Just push the shit behind the ear. Hello, fats. Go behind the ear. Okay, let me stop fucking around. How are you supposed to use this? I feel like I'm just abusing my face at this point. I really feel like I'm just abusing my face. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Ironed out the wrinkles. Calm the people's eyebrow and the other people's eyebrow. I got a matching set of people's eyebrow. Can you smell? Yeah. Is it a slow upward roll? None of this. I don't know. Maybe I could. There's no lamination going on. Just flatten those bitches back. Oh, Well, this girl with beard. I have some fixation with beard. This is fucking ridiculous. 100% at 11:22. 35, 17. Ooh wee. 8, 8. Okay. Your face is not. I beg to differ. You don't see those chocolate chips right there. You don't see those chocolate chips? What about up here? I got some chocolate chips. Oh my god. I don't even look up face. No. I've seen face yoga. I'm good. Reba, I don't know. This is my first time using it. This is my first time using it. Does this work, smarty girl? I want to iron out the happy lines. I don't want to have any proof of how happy my life has been. Is this how you do it for real? That that jaw chewing one is out of hand. I don't want to do the jaw chewing one because I don't want this to get bigger. Usually I have a V-line type of face shape, but since I can't figure myself out, I have a I was gonna say I have a cherry face shape. Is there such a thing as a cherry face shape? This one feels good as fuck, I swear. It's like Pedro, stop it. Let me just iron this out. I wonder if I could like rub away this. You see that? That's evidence of my mood. I've spent too many years gritting like the vein popped out. Can they do surgery on that? Is that a major vein? Oh, and this too. Oh, it's not so bad today. It's not so bad today. It's usually a like. What did Pedro say? Now, Pedro has a similar sense of humor as I do. Okay, don't hold it against him for being fabulous, that flamboyant bitch. So he said it feels like. Are you sure you want to know? It's obscene. Oh my gosh. Are you sure you want to know? Okay. He said it's like dragging Michael's penis across my face. Yeah. That's what he said. He said it's like Michael dragging his penis across my face. Michael didn't appreciate that. He got real like tight-lipped. Whatever. He doesn't share our sense of humor. I have naughty fairy humor. um huh? How can who not know? Yeah, he is hilarious. No, no, that's not what that is not what spirit guides do. It's not. But Pedro's making me laugh because I'm already having a hard time. It's like a massage. I'm just saying. I know they say go up. Like I really don't care. If I'm going to be honest, I really don't care what the beauty industry tells you. I worked for the beauty industry for so long. They're full of shit. They're so full of shit. You know, I'm not saying any of you guys are full of shit. I'm saying the beauty industry is full of shit. And, you know, it may look like It may look like I'm really pressing really hard, but I'm actually not. I actually have a condition that gives my skin extra laxity. And what I'm doing is very similar to gua sha. Gua sha. It helps to drain your lymph nodes and hairline. Got to take care of that extra finger. I don't have a forehead. I have a 5 head. Got to take care of that thumb rest, the area for the thumb rest. Oh, what did I press? That's good. That was good. That was amazing, actually. Amazing. Okay. Well, one light is blue, the other light is red, and they do some shit. It just feels good. I don't really care what they do. I think one of them is supposed to. I don't know. I don't know, but I do know when I use the blue light because I'm a creep. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. If my husband was awake, he'd be like, "You can't say things like that. People will take it serious." Do I look like a gangster? Okay. Yes. No. No, I'm not. Y'all. Never mind. So all I know is when I use the blue light, simply because that was the first light that I used and I became attached to it. It helps the serum to sink in a lot faster. Notice how my skin looks a little bit plumper. I don't know if you guys notice this type of thing. I definitely notice this type of thing. I definitely notice. What are you? Oh, that's right. That's right. The time that I thought I was gonna try and be cute like another woman and copy her fucking baby hairs. That's what you get, girl. See how obnoxious that shit is? That's what you get. Trying to copy someone else. That's what you get. Learn to just appreciate yourself as you are. Okay, girl. What is the purple reflection of what? Of what? What purple reflection? And I have bags again because I haven't been sleeping right. Oh, you mean the light? It's a blue light. Oh, I'm not insecure, girl. It's not baby hair. I cut that shit. I cut it and I have cowlicks along my hairline. So that was the most idiotic thing I could have done. I'm definitely not insecure. I'll tell you that much. So it's blue. Okay. And then there's red. So for it's like the evil Emmie. And then the angelic Emmie. You know what I'm saying? Oh, is it from a sketch? Yeah, I don't watch TV. That's the problem with pop culture references. I don't know what they are. I don't know what they mean. And I'm so not even embarrassed to admit that. What is this? You belong back there. All right. Let me go ahead. So, what do you guys want to know about being an energy worker? What else do you guys want to know? Oh, by the way, I'm making certification for my Kokoro program available. I'm finally sick and tired of my own bullshit. I'm sick and tired of my own bullshit. So I'm making the certification program available. And I'll go ahead and redo. Well, I'll do another workshop date for the Black Magic Revocation and another workshop date for the Blu-ray DNA. No, the Blu-ray Flame Workshop. Yep. Let's see. Fire and ice, that's right. You're about to smoke what up? Moisturizer? Let's see. What's the first step of what? How long of a program is it? I think it's probably going to be a month-long program. Um, it's going to be a very intensive program because if you haven't ever taken any of my classes or workshops or are in my membership program, there's something about information and teaching it that really just tickles me. And I like to give lots of information. So it's definitely going to be more than just a weekend. If you're earning a certificate, in order for you to get that certificate, you have to really prove to me that you know this material. Because the certificate, you'll be able to do my system on your clients. Because I'm just done. I'm done. I need a vacation. Is it real when you're told someone has had black magic on you all of your life? I know black magic is real. Is it always real when someone says that? Probably not. If you experience things that can't be explained, it probably is. Probably is. You need to figure out if it's a part of your path. You're right. It's not a part of everyone's path. It's definitely something. It's definitely something that you have to figure out. Well, this is level 1, Kokoro. This is level 1, Kokoro 33. So that's going to be about a month intensive. If you've ever taken, what are those classes called? I forget what they're called now. But during the summer, sometimes colleges will have those classes where they're trying to teach you a semester's worth of work in 4 weeks. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. So it's going to be very intensive. Very, very intensive. It's going to have homework, all kind of stuff. Because if I'm going to be slapping my name on that, you better be performing to my standards. I'm just saying. Yeah, no, not extractions. Thank you for pointing that out, Maud. It's definitely not extractions. So I was doing some like logistical thinking, analytic thinking, and I'd say that my level 1 would be the equivalent of like levels 1 to 3 of Reiki. Well, it depends. Once I'm done really laying out what I want to teach in level 1, how I'm going to teach it, the depth of knowing that I'm going to expect people to have. The goal is 1 month, but I don't want to be unrealistic in my expectations of people's ability to absorb information very quickly. So the goal is 1 month, but it might be longer. It just depends. It really depends. So I'd have several levels that you have to work through before I ever offer any type of extraction. And even then, I don't know. People fuck that up. I'm not even joking. I was teaching extraction for a short while and someone fucked that up. So I ended the program. Because again, it ties into that ego bullshit. I'm not about that. You're going to learn this program in order to be able to do the work, not to get clout, you know? And if your desire to get clout is going to put people in danger, we not friends. We not friends. I don't know you. You're not in this. That's what I ended up having to do. I mean, it wasn't a friend anyways. So energy can definitely be presented as mood. Energy, thought forms are made of energy. Emotions are energy felt. Yeah, energy is the root structure of everything. If you can hardly handle your energy, you should learn how to handle it. That's the best time, the best indicator that you should learn to consciously harness it. Is energy work something you can lay out in steps? Absolutely. Absolutely. My energy work is actually very, very, very simple. And if there's any of my Kokoro members here in this live stream, I mean, feel free to share how simple this shit is. Very simple. I've taught children this system. So it's a very simple, very easy to understand system. You don't even have to have mastered or completely memorized the reason why the system works. I do explain that to you, but the technique and the result is what's the main thing that I'm going to be focusing on. So these classes, I was gonna, because I'm booked up until I think like October. I was gonna offer it, I think, around October time. Thank you, Stephanie. Will I be teaching to tap into your dark energy and power? I'm going to be teaching to tap into your totality, your light and your dark energy. But when you say dark energy, what exactly do you mean by that? Like to hurt other people, to subjugate other people? Fuck no, I'm not teaching that. Nope, 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 no, nope, no, nope, nope, nope. No, I'm not teaching that. It might be someone trying to access you. Yeah. What if you just want to know what exactly you are? Um, I was hoping you I was hoping you didn't want that kind of dark energy. Nope. Nope. So hold on. What if you want to know what exactly you are? Why do you need to know that? Is it going to change anything about you knowing? Like, ethnically speaking, I'm Filipina, but because the islands were subjugated, they were colonized by so many different nations. Um, there was a lot of like interracial type things, um, interracial people, not type things. So, although people say they're Filipino, typically a Filipino is a mixture of different races. So it's like, do I become a different person if I know what percentage is Chinese, Malaysian, Spanish? Does it make me different? Not really. And this is not to say anything about you, but I found what tends to happen when people are too fixated on the label to affix on themselves, it becomes something that cripples their growth as well as an entryway for parasites. You'll, and I'm just stating my observation. I oftentimes will see people when they comment to introduce themselves. I'm Galactic Star Seed Child from the Galactic Federation, sitting on the Council of Founders, and I've been filtered through the Arcturian Blu-ray manifestation flux capacitor. I'm like, the fuck did you just say to me? None of that matters. None of that matters. Oh, so just like Maud said, the Maud, just like the Maud is saying, some people they don't see with visuals, and it's not necessary. Just like she's saying, um, it's more of recognizing that sometimes what you consider sight is experienced in different ways, like sound, feel, things like that, different senses. And don't get discouraged. But if you do get discouraged, it's okay. It's a natural part of your process. um, let's see. Is the council real? I know of a council. I've seen them. I've interacted with them. I've never bothered to get their official title. Just like, fuck, here, I'm in trouble. Yeah. So because this is somewhat of an investment, um, I do want to offer a month, no, well, not a monthly, but some sort of payment plan if there's really a need. But it would need to be paid off before the start of the class. I've already learned my lesson with that. So I would prefer a one-time payment, but if like say you can budget it, but it's like with me, God, it is so hard to budget anything. Like it's hard. But if I'm sending it to another account, so I have tons of accounts, and I mean, there's really nothing in there. But I know, like, if I have to save for something, I put it in this account. That account, I'm going to put a little bit in there every whenever, because that one is for utilities, and you know what I mean. So in that sense, um, I'm considering allowing like a private invoice where you can make payments up until the date the start date of the class. Let's see. Um, to free yourself of fear, your ancestors are Chinese missionaries. So how do I know that I won't knowing who you are is not going to make parasites go away. You find that you resonate with a lot of what I say. Trust me. Sometimes knowing part of your galactic heritage, parts of your previous life, if you're not emotionally and mentally mature enough to handle that memory, it will fuck you up. I mean, if I hadn't gotten to a certain level of self acceptance, self love, self exploration, being very open and very much submissive to the will of my soul. And so I'm just allowing myself to experience things. The return of memories that paint me as an evil sorcerer have really fucked with my head for a while. Ooh, yeah, that fucked with me real bad. I went into deep depression off of that because I saw very graphic things, and then that really triggered this like childhood PTSD where I thought I was evil for some reason. And I never did anything bad or wrong. Yeah, I was difficult to parent because I'm not just going to do what you want me to do. You have to explain it to me. You have to reason with me. So I don't know. I don't know if that's the best thing. I tend to not want to be I tend to not offer that as a service, like telling you what you are. Um, it tends to get in the way of your own progress. Uh, let's see. I'm not necessarily terrible at money. I get all frantic if things are not, I have a lot of like, I guess, Virgo type energy. Everything needs to be organized and separated into their proper, it's just weird. I do weird things. Uh, wait, what? I absolutely will be removing Reiki attunements. So here's the thing. Um, Kokoro and Reiki are two completely different things. From what I remember, soul memories and things like that, not to speak badly of any Reiki practitioners, nothing about the Reiki practitioners. The system itself is draconian based. That is draconian code, and those are not compatible. Even if I don't intentionally strip the attunements off, the symbols or whatever you guys do for Reiki, This work will dislodge that. It's going to clear all of that out. There's no if, ands, or buts. It's just cleared out. So, I mean, if you're really attached to what you paid to get the attunements, if you paid, I mean, if they gave you like a receipt, or this energy will push it out. Anything that's not organic to your template, that's pushed out immediately. Let's see. Why does it keep jumping? Interesting. He was Vlad the Impaler. That's pretty cool. Memories of past lives. I mean, I've had a lot of military lives, like galactic military, like special ops type of military. You know, I will share. My mom has been very compartmentalized for me much of my life. Not that we didn't have a relationship, but just I've kept her very separate from this work that I do, just because she's very religious and this would not sit right with her. And so I always had that separated. I didn't remember any previous lives with her or any of that. So when she passed, not long after she passed, I had my first flash of a memory of a life that we shared. She was a soldier of few words. I don't know. We were doing some psyop shit, not psyop, special ops shit. And it's like an open air market. It was off planet. It's not here on Earth. And she was like big and burly. She comes running up with a sack, a burlap sack. I don't know if it's burlap, but that's what it looked like. And she hands it to me, not nicely. She like kind of tosses it. I catch it. She takes off running. Me and another person take off running. And she's running. And then finally, when I look in the sack, it was a fucking decapitated head. I was like, holy shit. What the fuck did I just remember? Yeah, no, it was insane. It was insane. And I was just like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It was, you know, an insurgent type. It's okay. It's okay. It was a lot. It was a lot. And it really, I think part of the reason why I had to remember that, because in that life, my mom was really a being of very few words. Like you give the mission, they go ahead and do recon, and they get it done. They're just, that's who you call. You want to get it done? That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You just give them whatever, give her whatever. But here's the thing. In this life, my mom was very passive. She was just very like docile, complete opposite of that. I was like, what the hell? Oh my gosh. Let's see. So Brianna, it is a case of you needing to allow yourself to accept your other more heightened gifts more. Let's see. It wouldn't surprise me what I was capable of in past lives, to be honest. Yeah. If you're thinking that you're a bad person because you experienced bad things in a previous life, that's so far from true. So far from true. What usually ends up happening is you'll experience the polar opposites in like one life, and this has happened to me. One life I was white, another life I was black. One life, and my best friend, when I was in, I think I was like 20 years old, my best friend, I was very drawn to her, very protective of her. We had a very close bond. And this was one of the first times I allowed myself to really see and experience the life that I had with someone else that I'm connected to. So it turns out that she was the plantation owner's daughter, and I took care of her. I was her slave. And it was just one of these things where, you know, I basically loved on her like she was my own child. And she was always so nice to me. And I remember other lives where I worked I worked in the field, and that shit was so brutal, so brutal. It's very, very vivid memories, very vivid memories. Um, oh, are you serious, Leo Marie? You heard something calling out your husband's name? That's, I don't know. I don't like to involve myself in marital stuff. I try to steer clear. Let me see. Yeah, there's a lot. We have a lot of connections with people that we don't realize we have connections with. Exactly, Queen of Hearts. Those dark lifetimes still give us power to use for the greater good later. It helps you best understand your light and your potentiality when you experience both polarities, opposing polarities. That gives you a very solid foundation when you're centered. Um, let's see. Oh, that's beautiful, Kathy. Actually, evil is just a human concept. It's just a human concept. What some would consider evil, it's allowed to happen by creation to further perpetuate growth. Oftentimes, human beings are so stubborn, so close minded, so closed off that you need to experience tremendous pain to learn a simple lesson. And what is it evil that you would have a tutor come in? You're not learning during class time, so you need a math tutor. Is that evil? If you're not learning during light time, then darkness will be brought to teach you. Nothing, I don't believe in the concept of evil at all. At all. Hi, Nikita. Is it possible you may confuse a past life memory with this life? Absolutely. 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 If you're a very lucid dreamer, it's very easy to confuse a lot. Sometimes memories will come back and, it will just be like, that was a weird dream. No, that actually might be the polar opposite. I had shared a story about a friend of mine years ago. She had tried hypnosis and all kind of things to get herself to stop biting her nails because she would bite it so short and it would bleed and be painful. And so she reached out to me and I told her it has to do with control. And she's like, I'm the most chill person, which she is. She's the most chill, very loving person. But what ended up happening was it was a feeling of lack of control because in this life, she needed to experience the polar opposite of all her previous lives. So in this life, she feels very unsupported, very unheard, very much attacked, very alone, very sad, very unloved, just all kind of negative things, experiencing extreme poverty. And there's nothing wrong with extreme poverty. It's not like a sign that you're a failure or you're horrible in a past life and being punished. And this is really important to understand because in her previous life, she had all the things that she didn't have in this life. So in her previous life, she was very supported, very loved, absolutely surrounded all the time with people who were just so wonderful to her. She's been a royal for so many lives. And all of her needs are taken care of. And she wasn't ever like a nasty type of royal. She was always very loving, very giving, just a very beautiful thing. Very wealthy too. All her needs were always taken care of. And she had to experience this in this life to understand when you juxtapose opposing polarities, it can really do a number in regards to helping you further ripen your inner under and understanding of self and soul. Yep, I have a very vicious side too. If you trigger that, you earn that. I used to feel really badly. I used to feel really, really badly, and I used to tear myself apart because if y'all have seen me, you haven't seen me really mad. You see me irritated, which most people think like, oh my God, she was so mad. Nah, you just irritated me. That Capricorn, that's one hell of a drug. So I used to be really hard on myself in regards to that. But then I had a conversation with a very dear friend um, not too long ago, a couple years back. And, he was pointing out, like, you know who you are. You don't just senselessly attack other people. You're, you're so patient with other people. You keep your mouth shut for so much bullshit. By the time you open your mouth, it's because they worked good and hard to get that from you, to get that out of you. So you can't hold yourself to a different standard than what other people are doing to you. And I was like, well, that's kind of true. Oh, shit. And that's when I realized that's true. I'm totally not, it takes quite a bit, either energetically, socially, verbally, for me to get to that point with someone. And I've just really released my guilt. And it's like, no, I know who I am. If you get that side of me, you just got that side of me. That's what you got. And if it's something where I'm just having a bad day and I end up lashing out at someone, I have no problem calling myself out on that. Not just privately. I'm talking about in a live stream where I've given myself a moment to calm down and I realize, holy shit, I totally just, I'm so sorry. So, don't hold it against yourself. Um, so when something like that happens, KS, Theo's probably a parasite. So, okay, if they come true, then you have precognitive ability. Um, I don't trust anything that comes to me in that way. I don't. Yeah, nope, I'm not gonna trust that. I mean, how it took me most of my life to trust that Michael is Michael, because for quite a few years, um, I totally was like, "Are you a demon?" He would talk to me. Don't talk to me right now, demon. You will not trick me, demon. Yeah, he got used to it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so that should tell you something. You Google the name Theo and it means God. So you're talking to God. Lowercase g. Yeah. I mean, I would just be like, I have standards. Unless you're uppercase, we can't do this. I'm just saying. You just lowercase, boo boo. I need uppercase. Make it even caps lock, and you get my attention. You're just a little G. How did Michael gain my trust? Through fear, through a feeling of just utter helplessness. So he had been really ramping up talking to me, and I finally came to the to the conclusion, all right, you're not actually a demon, whatever. And then he decided to up the ante and tell me I had to evac my house in California. We weren't renting, we owned our house. And he expected me to just leave it with the feeling that we were never coming back to that house again. And it was a very fear driven type of exercise. We ended up traveling for quite a bit. Um, and it was just through a series of events that really helped to hone in and helped me to see, okay, he's teaching me something right now. He's actively teaching me something. Geolocation, precog, like all kind of different abilities that I knew were active, but I never really tried to use it. I never had any need to. And so he was working on getting me comfortable with just accepting those gifts. I'm on the third floor and something's tapping on my window. Motherfucker, you want to fight? Seriously, like I don't see anything. I'm in the middle of the wilderness. Something is tapping on my window. Anyways, I ain't got time for you. So, long story short, what ended up happening, not only did he have me evac my house, he told me that I needed to drive through Mexico. We had to drive through Mexico. And yeah, you and your Theo can go, dude. So we drove through Mexico in early 80s suburban, no AC, no license plate. There was no license plate on the car. And he had me drive almost to Guatemala. And we weren't staying in hotel rooms. We were like sleeping on beaches and things like that in a tent with our kids. And crazy shit, right? It sounds crazy, but it was like one of the most peaceful, most beautiful periods for my family. It really shifted a huge amount of things within my family. There was no problem in my family, but up until that point, I think it was at that point that my husband began to be more in alignment with this developing spiritual path that I was having. And so what ended up happening, I thought we were going to have to go all the way to Guatemala. And I was like, we're out of money, dude. and then he just randomly told me, it's time to go home. And I was like, home where? California? And he goes, yes, time to go home. And so we were heading home. It was a blacked out Mexican countryside, like literally pitch black. There was nothing there, huge stretches of wilderness. And one of my children is very sensitive to temperature, and it was very hot, very hot. I think it was like summertime when we went. And he then started to have heat exhaustion, which was quickly escalating. I think his temperature like went up to 102, 103. He wasn't sick. He was having heat exhaustion because the sun was on him. And I packed him. We bought ice at the next gas station. I put ice in his armpits and his groins, and just like keep drinking. I was so scared. I was literally like, holy shit, what the fuck did we do? Because we were out there for, I want to say like a week or two. And it was this thing of, I know how quickly heat stroke can happen, and that's like critical shit. We don't have cell phones. This is the Mexican countryside. There's no hospital. And then one of my senses kicked in, because he started vomiting and everything in the car. One of my senses kicked in, and I was like, we're being attacked. We're fucking being attacked. And that pissed me off. And so, at the time I was very religious, and we started praying. We started praying the rosary. And after maybe the first Our Father, I said, hold up. I want to set an intention. And I set the intention, creating a perimeter of protection around the car, just all kind of stuff. And then we started to pray again together as a family. And immediately my consciousness was pulled up out of my body, up through my head. And it was like Lord of the Rings. Is it Lord of the Rings? Where Gandalf the White comes out on his horse with his staff, because all of those like monstrous orcs and whatever flying things were You remember that scene, right? It was like that shit, except Michael was above our car, his sword was on fire, and he created a perimeter of light around our car. And as soon as I saw that, my son felt better. His fever went away. He stopped vomiting. He's like, I feel so much better. And I was just like, holy fucking shit. Am I imagining this shit? Because even though I've had experiences through my whole life, I've always convinced myself I'm just imagining it. I'm just imagining it. I'm just imagine. I wasn't imagining this shit. And everyone in the car, even my husband, whenever he gets goosebumps, he's like, feel my nipples. So he had me feel his nipples. He definitely had THO. And yeah, it was the most interesting experience ever. And I saw nothing would enter even where the light was starting to fade. Everything had to stay in complete darkness. And the ones that were kind of ballsy and tried to not shit got burnt right away. Right away it got burnt. And I was like, fuck yes, it's about time, motherfucker. I was like, fucking hey, Michael, you could have done this the whole time. And that was the first time I called him Michael instead of Demon. I actually called him Michael instead of Demon. I was like, you could have done this shit this whole time. And he was like, you never asked. Because that was part of the intention. Part of the intention was for Archangel Michael to protect us from everything. And I was like, oh my God, you legit were waiting for me to ask. You know I never ask for things. You're fucked. You're a horrible friend. So that's the first time he really gained my trust. And then after that, it's just continued to develop. Yeah, sleeping on the beach. And I'll tell you guys, we were sleeping on the beach, staying in local campsites with the locals, not tourist areas, during a time where it was being reported, and we didn't know. We didn't know. We were kept so fucking hidden and protected. It was ridiculous. At that time, that's when the cartels were having a huge turf war or something like that, and they were kidnapping American citizens and beheading them. And we stayed in the cities that they're in. I do believe we drove through Sinaloa. I was like, this sounds familiar for some reason. Nothing happened. Ooh, we were maybe like 100 or so miles away from Tijuana, and we got pulled over by the federales. Policia pulled us over. And anytime we had to stop because they have checkpoints, and my kids had electronics, I'm like, put your electronics under your seat. We're in a very poor looking, old suburban, no license plate, packed with like garbage bags and stuff. Because remember, we evac'd. And so I guess we blended in. They never really bothered to check. But as we were about 100 or so miles away from Tijuana, we were heading back home. They pulled us over. And the federale wanted my passport. And at the time, oh no, I already had my US passport. And he was saying, I knew he could talk English, but he was just speaking Spanish. And he's like, oh, big trouble. Like, and so if we play that game, we can play that game. That's fine. Okay. I'm airheaded Asian. Senor, can you show me in the book? Habla, hablo inglés? Fuck you. I took like 2 or 3 years of Spanish in high school. No say. So yeah, he was trying to tell us he's gonna need to fine us. I'm like, for what, senor? And he was like, it's a big problem. He's gonna have to deport us. And I was like, oh, that's perfect because we're trying to go back home. Can you? He said he's gonna deport us. We're US citizens, so he would have to send us back to the US. Back to Tijuana, where we were planning to go anyways. And then he was like, oh, no. To Filipina. I said, sí. Sí. Yo soy Garcia. Filipina. Yes. And he goes, no, you go Philippines. I said, no, my passport says USA. You're deporting my ass to the USA. You can't just make up fucking places you're going to drop me off. You dropping me off to the USA. And then finally he got tired of playing with me. I ain't got no money to give you. We just have enough for gas to get back to California. Don't play with me right now. You can dig through that garbage bag of dog food, dried dog food, or you can dig through our tent, take whatever you want from the trunk. I ain't got no money to give you. So finally, he just let us leave. 100% at 12:12. I gotta go. I gotta teach class tomorrow. I love that, Villanova. 38% at 11:11. 11 across the board. I speak decent Spanish, like kind of like a 2-year-old speaking Spanish. He wanted money. I knew it too. And I was just like, I ain't got nothing to give you. You can deport my ass back to where the hell I'm trying to go. So he's just like, fuck it. You're a waste of time, you broke ass. Gracias, senor. But what was funny, you just reminded me. So my brother got my mom a live-in nurse to take care of her. She don't speak English though. She speaks Spanish, which I didn't realize that my mom is fluent in Spanish. You know how I found this out? She called me. I was in Colorado and she called me in California. She's pissed off at her nurse. She's like, you need to talk to her. You need to tell her. I'm like, what do you need me to tell her, Mom? And she starts calling I forget the name, Margie or something like that. She starts yelling a name, some woman's name. And so then her live-in nurse comes and is talking to her in Spanish. She's telling her, that's not my name. My name is blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what is going on there? And my mom is like, so what did she say? Tu habla mi única hija. Mi única hija. Teléfono. I was like, what does that even mean, Mom? She goes, I'm telling her you're my daughter. You're going to argue with her. You can't have me argue with someone in a different language. She goes, you have to tell her. Mom, she don't even speak English. How am I going to yell at her? She don't even know what I'm saying. She's cussing out this woman in Spanish. I'm like, where did you learn Spanish? I went to college. I was like, oh, so you learned it in college. How long were you? She was so pissed off. She was like, you need to talk to her. Well, it sounds like you're talking to her perfectly fine. I'm just saying. You already done told her everything about me in Espanol. Única hija. My only daughter. I was just like, what the fuck's going on in this? I ended up texting my brother, like, you better get back into that house. Because he owns his own company and he's not that far from the house. I was like, you better go back home because she's pissed off about something. She's telling me to cuss people out in Spanish. And unfortunately, I don't remember high school Spanish, 1 or 2. Yeah. So apparently she's trilingual. What? She's trilingual. Isn't that crazy? So she speaks Tagalog, English, and Spanish. I was like, why did I not know that until like now? That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. My mom is very, like I was sharing earlier, the first memory that I had of a life that we shared where we actually interacted. She was like a special ops type of agent or soldier or whatever the heck they're called. Excuse me. And it makes sense because in this life, man, she could keep a secret like no other. She could well, it depends how she feels about you. You had to be really special for her to keep that secret because if not, you know. Yeah, actually, my family is a line of Babayin. Yeah, my family is a lineage of that. Yup. So yeah, I've lived many lives as shaman. Quite a few of my previous lives were shaman, and I was born into an ancestral lineage of shaman, Filipino shaman. It's amazing. It's very impressive that you know that. Babayin. Yeah, a lot of people see. That's a thing. That's another thing that I don't talk about. Um, I'm just so jaded by the I'm very jaded by what's happened with shamanism. It's just become this really mainstream thing. You pay your fee, you go to a retreat, and you're taught at that retreat by someone who's not even indigenous to that culture or region, and suddenly you're a shaman. I think that's bullshit. And this is me personally. This is my personal opinion. I think that's bullshit. It's something that once was so fucking sacred, so sacred, something that was passed down through mitochondria, and now it's a piece of paper. It's a piece of paper and a fee. And I don't talk about it much, but I'm partially trained in shamanism. I stopped it because I don't know. I don't know. I it's just yeah. I was being privately trained in shamanism, and I come from a line of shamans, Filipino shamans. So it's definitely yeah. I take that shit personal. They have absolutely diluted the traditional ways. Not only have they diluted the traditional ways, much like what they did with the sacred teachings of Yeshua, they bastardized it. That's some oh, don't get me started on spiritual righteousness. I'm about to start frothing. It pisses me off. It pisses me off. Yeah. So, Miss Chris, I am Babayin. Hmm. By birth, not by certificate, not by fee, not by workshop. No. Yeah, it irks me. It irks me because it's like these were once such sacred positions and titles to hold, things that had to be earned, things that were really just ingrained in your coding through the concentration of this bloodline. And yeah. Yeah, I had someone, if we're going to be honest, I was pressured to agree to attend a shamanic event where you were going to be at that event. I didn't know this. I thought it was just a retreat. I find out later on that once there, you're going to be training to earn the title, pay for the title of shaman. Um, I forget what kind of shamanism. Um, Pedro goes, it's tortilla shaman. No, it starts with a T. He said it's tortilla shaman. You're a fucking asshole, Pedro. I don't remember what it's called, but I found out after I gave my deposit because I was just trying to go with my then friends. I was like, I thought this was just a fucking deposit so we could just, do some friendship shit, fucking sit in the desert, drink some, cacao or fucking whatever the fuck you do at a retreat in Mexico. I don't know you're trying to get me to train for this shit. I don't want fucking. And then what pissed me off even more, the person that I was having exchanging emails with regarding this event was a Caucasian man from the UK, from my understanding, which that's not really anything wrong. But so you want me to train in this program for a shamanic practice that's in going to teach me? I was like, no, I can't do this shit. Nope. No, mod, yes. It's tortilla shamanism. Not to speak badly of the actual word. I'm just fucking Pedro, dude. It's Tortilla. Pedro is a mess. He's an absolute mess, and I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. So there's this video. I took a screen recording of this video of Pedro. This is the first time he was getting all flamboyant in front of the camera. Okay. This is from an old live stream. Okay. So I was in Peru and I was like showing people, I decided to go live and show people all the shit that we bought. We still got bamboozled. We got took to this village where the women are the ones who take care of the alpacas. They process the wool. They hand create all this beautiful stuff. You'll see him watch. You'll see. Oh, he fucking turned off my phone. Did you guys see that? Right before he was gonna come on, he turned off my phone. Fucking bastard. All right. So let's see. All right. Oh, well, no, now it's rewinding. Ah! Fucking asshole. He's such a little jerk. All right. Let me just actually. Every time I go on vacation, I have this like budget. I never use it. Okay. There it is. A beanie with a built-in scarf. You'll see him in the corner. Oh, I should have got one. They had it in my color blue. Man, I'm so annoyed with myself. You'll see him in the upper corner. Hat. I was like, man, I totally. You see that? It's right over here. I have this like budget. I never. Man, you'll see him in this corner. I was like, okay, every time I go on vacation, I have this like budget. I never use it. I never want to buy myself anything. Wait. So I'm gonna lessen my budget. Man, I'm so annoyed with myself. There. It's just like that freaking alpaca hat. I was like, man, I was like, if you look at the original live stream, I don't know what the original live stream is. It's on my Facebook page. It's really old. Oh, wait. No. It is quick chat before I depart for Machu Picchu. It's this one. You got to go on my Emmie Evolving page and check it out. It's a quick chat before I go to Machu Picchu. For like several minutes before that part that I showed you guys, he was zipping across my face and back of me, and I was ignoring the shit out of him because I don't believe in fairies. It's true. I don't believe in fairies. Pedro, you're not really a fairy. You're like a miniature companion. He's a miniature companion. That's what he is. He's not actually a fairy. But people in the comments were like, oh my God, you've had fairies all around you. I've seen how many orbs. And this motherfucker, if you really watch the video, at that point, you'll see he does a Tinkerbell move. When he pops back in, he does a Tinkerbell move and he's like, oh shit, and he leaves. I'm like, you're so weird. You're so weird. There's another video of him You'll see him come out my ear. Oh, I think I posted that on Facebook as well. Felix. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna go to bed. I think I'm gonna go to bed. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. Go to bed. Oh, what is this? This is how he loves on me. He eats my hair. Hair, he's doing that too. I so love that cat. All right, guys. So you guys saw him. Oh, so yeah, Monica, Pedro is a fairy that stole my shit. He stole my stuff when I was in Peru. And apparently they like shiny things. And I had this like it's a plastic jar, but the lid is a shiny silver color. It was my glycolic peel pads, and he hid it. So the whole trip, I couldn't exfoliate my face properly. And then the final night we were there, people kept telling me that I needed to offer him a gift, give him some of the fruit. And I was like, no, this is my fruit. And luckily, the person I was traveling with, she don't. Pedro is on one right now. I was gonna say, luckily she wasn't. She, was gonna let him have her fruit, and he goes, luckily she was wasteful. Oh my God, Pedro. Oh my God. So, according to Pedro, she was wasteful. And so he got to eat her fruit. And because he got to eat her fruit, he gave me back my stuff. That was so sweet of him for being so honest and calling her wasteful. I know, but even if it's true, that's like kind of mean, Like, what if she watches this and she hears her saying she's wasteful? Be a little bit considerate. If it wasn't for the fact that she was wasteful, you wouldn't have never gotten fruit because I wasn't sharing my shit with you. Right? Didn't I tell you that in the hotel room? I told you that in the hostel. Motherfucker, give me back my shit. I ain't giving you no fucking fruit. I'm not paying you to give me back my shit. I'm not playing these games with you, Pedro. Yeah. That's how that conversation went. And then my travel companion was like, girl, it's okay. Just let him have my fruit. I'm so not even ashamed. So she said he could have her fruit, which she left it on the nightstand. And as soon as she fell asleep, I ate almost all of it. I gave him about this much. That's enough. He's a fairy. He's small. He doesn't need a whole fucking piece of fruit to himself. Okay. And if he doesn't finish it when we leave for the airport, it's just going to be thrown away. So I ate most of his fruit. And that's probably why he followed me home. So he's been with me ever since. And it's pretty cool because he likes to play with my nephew. My nephew's not a baby. My nephew's man size and man age. I think he's 20. He's turning 20. He's 19 right now. He's turning 20. And he's been able to take pictures with him. It's some crazy shit, you guys. My nephew will be like, hey, auntie, look, I took a picture with Pedro. I'm like, shut up. And then he showed me. I was like, oh, shit. Pedro likes you. So, all right, guys, I gotta go. Good night and thumbs up for the video. Thank you for sharing the space with me. I know I usually go live every weekend. I don't plan on going live this weekend. I just really need to, I really just need to be quiet on my own. Just like quiet myself down. And yeah, but if I do get an urge to chat with you guys a little bit, then I'll do that. So love you guys. Bye.